Hello student, I am going to teach you about the classification of neuron. And now we are going to see about the classification of neuron according to the function, or also known as the function or classification of neuron. In this classification of neuron is based according to the direction in which the signal is travel in relation to the central nervous system. In this classification of neuron or functional classification of neuron, also here we have three types of the neuron. The first one is the sensory neuron, and second one is motor neuron, and the last is interneuron. Starting with the sensory neuron, that is also known as afferent neuron. Afferent means towards. This is the kind of the neuron which conduct information, which conduct electrical signal towards the central nervous system, towards the brain and spinal cord, away from the receptor or sense organ. This sensory neuron receive electrical signals or stimulus from the sense organs such as skin, eye, nose, or internal organ, and then send this information or electrical signal to the central nervous system for processing or interpretation. So all sensory neurons are unipolar neuron. All sensory neurons are the neuron which have only one process which extend out from the cell body. Another types or second types of the neuron according to the function is motor neuron or efferent neuron. Efferent means away. This neuron operates opposite with the sensory neuron. Therefore, efferent neuron is the kind of the neuron which conduct electrical signal or nervous impulse away from the central nervous system. Efferent neuron conduct the nervous signal or information away from the cell body towards the effector. Those information which have already been processed in the central nervous system is transmitted through the efferent neuron or motor neuron to the effector in order to provide the response. Therefore, motor neurons are typically multipolar neurons. This means that motor neurons are the neurons which have more than three processes which run out from the cell body. And the third types of neuron according to the function is interneuron, that also known as intermediate neuron, relay neuron, coordinator neuron. This is the neuron which connects between motor neuron and the sensory neuron. This interneuron normally is located in the central nervous system. Interneuron or motor neuron located between motor neuron and the sensory pathway and highly involved in signal integration. It integrates electrical signal between sensory neuron and the efferent neuron, and the majority of these neurons are confined within the central nervous system. According to this, we can say that interneuron or motor neuron deal with processing, interpretation, and the signal integration between sensory neuron and motor neuron. After that, let us see diagram of one neuron and another. This is sensory neuron. Here there is a receptor site, and this receiving nervous signal and transmitted through the axon to the central nervous system. This is the motor neuron. Motor neuron which receive electrical signal from the central nervous system and convey them to the effector example of effect is muscles for the interpretation. And this is interneuron or intermediate neuron or relay neuron. So let us proceed with the speed of nervous impulse or velocity of electrical signal. What are the factors which affect the speed of nervous impulse? Or what is the factor which affect the action potential traveling? There are several factors which affect the rate and speed of action potential, but here we shall deal with only 3 factors. The first factor is myelinsis. In here we have 2 neurons, myelinated neuron and non-myelinated neuron. Myelinsis, this is a fat or lipid which cover the axon and left the space that is not ophrambia. These myelinsis act as electrical insulators. Therefore, nervous impulse or electrical signal or action potential is a travel along of node of ophrambia. Myelinated neuron conduct nervous impulse or electrical signal in high speed compared to the non-myelinated neuron. This is because myelinated neuron electrical signal or nervous impulse is passed in form of the jump in form of syntactile conduction along of the node of ophrambia. And in a non-myelinated neuron, electrical signal or information is passed slow in a whole axon. Another factor which affects the speed of transmission of nervous impulse is the diameter of the axon. In this we have 2 axons, the axon which have large diameter and the axon which have small diameter, that is fine axon. In the increase of diameter, increase speed and rate of conductance of the action potential. This is because of the increase of diameter reduce the resistance of the axoplasm. As the result, the speed of the conductance increase. In this case, we can say that axon of the large diameter or adjacent to the axon have high speed of conduction of nervous impulse or action potential compared to the fine axon. The last factor is the temperature. The higher temperature, the faster speed of conductance of the action potential or nervous impulse. This is because temperature increase up to the optimum level facilitate enzyme activity. Therefore, enzyme work faster. As a result, increase the action potential. Also, temperatures reduce the resistance of the axoplasm, which maximizes the conductance of the action potential. According to this temperature, we can finalize that homothermic animals have higher speed of conductance of nervous impulse or action potential because they have warm-blooded, and pyrothermic animal have lower temperature, have lower speed of conductance of the action potential. Thank you for listening to me.